To summon, place your hand on the right page, clear your mind, and repeat the words, "Time to get weird."
Oh, Gravity Falls, it is good to be back!
Hello all, and welcome to a brand new multi-part Gravity Falls theory series. The fact that I can say this feels like a dream come true. This show ended 8 years ago, but we've been getting new content ever since. The most recent is the release of the Book of Bill, which has so much content that I can't even put it all in this one video. From new languages to a cryptic website to the true origins of Bill Cipher, there are so many new puzzle pieces to fit in place, and I'm here to do just that. For those of you who are new to Gravity Falls, Bill Cipher was the big bad of the Gravity Falls TV show, tormenting the Pines family until he inevitably opened a gateway between worlds and started what he calls Weirdmageddon. The Pines brothers, Stanley and Ford, came up with a devious plan to destroy him once and for all. Bill, with the power to enter people's brains, was tricked and trapped in Stanley's head, while his brother used a memory-wiping gun that destroyed both Stanley and Bill. Sad with the loss of their family member, siblings Dipper and Mabel attempted to restore Stanley's memories, which worked. But while the Pines family was all happy, a question loomed over all of our heads. If Stanley's memories could come back, what else could too? Bill's last words were, "This may seem like nothing until you reverse it." His final words were a prayer for him to be able to return. After all these years, it seems he finally has. The Book of Bill, even though we're able to purchase it, isn't ours. We are not its original owner. Instead, it's Stanford Pines. He found this book in his knapsack, and even though he tried to burn, stab, tear, freeze, and molecularly destabilize the book, it always returned. So finally, he threw it into a rift with pages warning us about its content, and that rift has led straight to us. The book commands us to summon Bill, who then rips through the pages and begins his sales pitch for the apocalypse. Due to the book being made of human brain matter, Bill can manipulate the book any way he wants, having different people see different things in an attempt to cater to everyone individually. The final twist at the end of the book involves the deal Bill made with the axolotl. He will gain a new life if he passes its most difficult trial yet, therapy. The way for Bill to reincarnate is to simply go through therapy. His reincarnation options are a newt, a shrimp, or a cloud of fungal spores. Bill isn't descending through circles and fighting demons, he's fighting his own demons with trained professionals. After we discover this, he throws a temper tantrum, saying we betrayed him and severed our connection, hoping that someone will eventually let him out. This story may seem cut and dry, but I assure you it is anything but. In this episode, we're going to look at Bill's motivation, a secret website, and even possibly solve the TV show. Let's start off by diving deeper into the book. In this book, we get some direct answers on Bill's powers. He can mind read, possess anything that has neurons, hence why this book is made from brain matter, can see a spectrum of infinite possible futures, charisma, and pyrokinesis. I guess we can also mention looking amazing in formal wear and geometric perfection just to appease him. While this is great and all, it doesn't really tell us too much. To get more, we have to go deeper. Bill reveals that this lore involves a multiverse, and once he starts talking about parallel dimensions, we get to learn that he himself is gifted with the ability to see into other worlds. He can see worlds where the Pine siblings didn't survive their encounters. This book seems to flip-flop the words worlds, realms, dimensions, and universes interchangeably, so we're just going to use the word universe as it's commonly being used in other media as well. He eventually begins to talk about dreams, which he reveals his control over. Once you hit your REM cycle, you enter the Mindscape, which is a secret backdoor connecting all consciousness, otherwise known as Bill's playground. Here, Bill can enter your dreams, as we see him do with Mabel in the book, and extract information like the movie Inception. There's one more very important thing to note about Bill's dream powers. On the page Hello Earth, he says, Where there are minds, there are dreams, and where there are dreams, there's me. This is then brought back up in the journal of Thurbert Wagstaff III, leader of the Anti-Cipher Society. In the design of the Bill hunting suit, it says that Mr. Cipher strikes in your dreams, so you must not fall prey to slumber. This is repeated again when Ford attempts to make his own Bill hunting suit. Let's write down that he strikes in your dreams. At the end of this section, Bill says, I started to think that maybe reaching out to humans one-on-one wasn't cutting it. That's when I realized there was a better way to get into humans' minds. Bill discovered a new popular form of media called cartoons and started making his own. Once that failed, he moved on to music. This began to work for him until any reference to him was banned from the radio. Afterwards, he moved on to computers that were capable of mass hypnosis, which didn't pass through the prototype stage due to the floppy drive eating a kid's finger. His final attempt involved creating figurines that could attract grandmothers. In all of these examples, he possesses, does a deal with, or incepts artists and inventors to try and create a method to get into everybody's heads. While he needs his portal to take over Earth, he also needs people to fall in line and let him in, which is what he has unsuccessfully attempted here. The final point we need to talk about is a very interesting one. At the beginning of the book, we see Bill say, "Oh, you might feel silly about meeting me. After all, Bill Cipher is imaginary. You're real and I'm not, right? But are you sure about that?" At the very end of the book, he says, "I showed you my childhood. I broke the fourth wall for you, and this is how you repay me?" Let's write this down. All of these abilities are great and all, but the ones we're going to focus on here are possession, can see other universes, his methods of getting into people's heads, and the ability to break the fourth wall. So let's remove everything else here just to clean up our workspace. This right here explains everything we have ever known about Gravity Falls. Hey, speaking of fourth wall breaking, have you heard of OVERTON, the video game that I'm in? No? Well, it's a brand new indie game that's 100% practical. Graphics, never heard of them. In fact, you could probably play this game on anything that can support videos. If you love deep dives into lore, which clearly you're here watching this video, so I'll take that as a yes, you will love this game. This story-driven choose-your-own-adventure game is full of so much talent, love, and hedgehogs that you'll scream, "What's the deal with the box? Please, someone tell me now! I'm going crazy just thinking about it!" And now, doesn't that sound pleasant? The link to the game is at the top of the description below and in the card at the top right of the screen, so make sure to wishlist it right now. Sorry, Bill is getting restless. Let's get back to solving Gravity Falls. So, like we just said, these abilities will help us explain the entirety of Gravity Falls. We know he says he broke the fourth wall, but we need to know exactly how aware he is and what this means in the lore of the world of Gravity Falls. How exactly is he breaking the fourth wall? Is he aware that he's simply a TV show character? Fictional, like he calls himself? Well, we need to turn back to the book for these answers. During the Weirdmageddon section, Bill says, "Look, you already know what happened next. Using 10th dimensional cunning and charisma, I returned to Gravity Falls, played the family against each other, and finally got the bridge between worlds that I'd been dreaming of for so long. Yes, I was shattered. Yes, it was a dirty trick. No, I'm not upset." Bill is aware that we know the events of Gravity Falls. Now, we don't know if this means that the Pines and the town of Gravity Falls have shared this story with others and that's why we would know it, or if he's actually referring to the Gravity Falls TV show. Luckily for us, the next page gives us an interesting thing to note. It shows Bill burning a diorama of Gravity Falls, and right at the bottom is the Gravity Falls logo. The same font and everything. Now, there is a sign in Gravity Falls that we saw at the beginning of episode 1, but it's much more crude than the one we see here. This one is the exact same font as the logo from the TV show, so this is the smoking gun, right? Well, not quite. The background of the TV show is slightly different. We're going to need a little more than this if we want to come to a conclusion. We have to turn to the fake book cover. At the bottom of the opposite page, it says, "For more Bill Cipher press fun, visit thisisnotawebsite.com." Going there brings us to this page with nothing more than a triangle and a prompt. Luckily, Bill has provided us with the password. Question 7 of the intelligence test asks us why this thing won't leave Bill alone. Tilting this image displays 2 different texts. Need a password? Fine, I'll talk. And it's the name of the eyeball doc. Luckily for us, Bill has outwardly expressed his negative relationship with the Great Gatsby, which uses heavy symbolism everywhere, especially with the eye doctor named T.J. Eckelberg. Putting T.J. Eckelberg into this website displays a countdown. When this countdown finally completed, it kept counting, now in the negatives. When writing this script, it has been 2 days since this countdown ended. Seuss is displayed over the countdown clock holding wires, saying that the Mystery Shack is experiencing delays. But if this website is Bill's website, why is Seuss here? Does that make it the Mystery Shack's website like he said? Well, I don't think so. On the background paper of this website, we can see a circled picture of Bill with strange text above him. This text is Bill Cipher's code. It has appeared many times in Gravity Falls' history, so you better believe we already know what that code is. This is a substitution cipher. Every symbol represents a different letter. Using a key, we can translate this to say, lost files. Bill is not only pointing us to this website, the password being something he set up for us, but also knows the current status of the website. But then again, why is Seuss here? How can this be Bill's website with Seuss present within? Simple. In the Book of Bill's intelligence test, question 6 asks you to calculate the surface area of Seuss, and we can even see him talking. This is still Bill's website even if Seuss is here. Now that we know for sure this is Bill's website, let's actually take a look at it. If you click Seuss, he will display a different string of text. If you do this enough, eventually Seuss will appear possessed by Bill and display a new code. This is probably our easiest one to decipher. This code is simply a font called 1951 Alchemy, and this is the symbol subset. All this says is, so many questions. We'll come back to this sentence later. Another string of text that can appear is, in the meantime, experience some soothing tunes while you wait. They drown out the rage, dude. Clicking the Soothing Tunes link sends us to the Gravity Falls main title theme lo-fi on the Disney Music Vivo channel. Bill is aware of Disney. He's aware of the Gravity Falls show, he knows the logo, and he's breaking the fourth wall. Bill knows he's in a TV show. But now this creates 2 new questions. 1, how much does Bill know about us? And 2, how much control does Bill have? Let's start with the first question. We can see throughout the book that Bill is aware of the reader, talking directly to us, but is he aware of our world? We've only seen him as animated, but is he aware of the real world, and is he a part of it with us? Well, let's figure that out. This book has revealed that this lore is in fact within a multiverse, which means we have to take other universes into account for anything we discuss. Whenever Stanford Pines communicates with us, he adds a photo or a relic from Gravity Falls. The Bill statue, a selfie, a moth, pictures of him partying, and a family photo. All of these things are animated, excluding the Goth Moth. We can't really take Gravity Falls' creatures as evidence for anything, considering not only does the location house many anomalies, but Stanford has also stated that there are still rifts open to the Nightmare Realm, meaning creatures from other universes could easily be inhabiting Gravity Falls. It seems that we can suggest that Gravity Falls is in an animated universe. Bill Cipher revealed that he is from a 2D universe and created a universe of chaos with no rules, moral or physical. These universes are built on very different rules and stylized uniquely, so having one that is animated is perfectly feasible. It's similar to the Lego universe in Into the Spider-Verse. It's just like Bill said when talking about heaven. In an infinite multiverse, all conceivable realities can and must exist. Gravity Falls seems to be in an animated universe because people from within it are still communicating with us and showing us that they are animated. But we are still unsure whether this is truly the case. Every time it seems to be one way, we get thrown for a loop. If this universe was animated, why are the Polaroids and the tape holding them hyper-realistic? Why is the cassette tape in Stanford's Lost Journal 3 pages hyper-realistic? Why is the $1 bill that Stanley ripped hyper-realistic? I don't know. I actually don't know. Later in the series, we'll give 2 possible options, but luckily for us, this doesn't really matter for the 2 questions we are trying to answer right now. Is Bill aware of our world? Yes, absolutely. Bill has an actual picture of Larry King, a picture of him with an actual human in the background, him on vinyl covers with actual people, a hyper-realistic computer, and figurines. On the back of the book, there are reviews from Weird Al, Guillermo del Toro, and Charlie Day, where Charlie clearly becomes possessed by Bill. He is absolutely fully aware of our so-called real world and has dealt with it in the past. Finally, how much control does Bill have? He knows about our world, he knows about the Gravity Falls TV show, and he knows that we think he's fictional. The biggest indicator of everything is also in the sleeve of the book. Where the note from the author goes, there is a picture of Alex Hirsch possessed by Bill, commanding you to get this book. This is where everything finally comes together. We're going to use some speculation to fill in the gaps, but all the evidence we've gathered here points to these big ideas. We saw previously that Bill has tried to manipulate only one person to make his portal before realizing there was a much, much better way of getting into people's heads. He manipulated and possessed artists and inventors into pushing his narrative and his image into people's heads without them even knowing it. All of these attempts failed. And why? He moved too fast. He got too risky. He had too much creative control. When he was doing his animations, he released bees into the audience, which made people realize his true intentions. During his time with the Cipher tones, he directly told people to construct the portal, which caused mass panic. When making the Maniacintosh, the programmers kept jumping off bridges and the floppy disk ate a kid's finger, and the Tri-Angels never worked. Nobody would follow Bill no matter what he did. Except for one thing. At the beginning of the book, during Stanford's warning, he said, "Some local teens think Bill worship is edgy." He found followers. Weirdmageddon and his inevitable downfall did what he could never do before. So it would seem that what he decided to do was do what he did so many times before: manipulate an artist. Alex Hirsch. This time, it was an animator yet again. But it appears he learned from his mistakes, because there were no bees in this, it was just a story. His story. He implanted himself into everybody's mind who watched that show. He manipulated Stanford for his curiosity, and just like he said with the books, Bill is doing the same with us. This entire series is based on cryptic ciphers and codes. The thing we already know is Bill's expertise, but why? Well, Bill said it at the very beginning. He is an idea, and you can't kill an idea. But why a show? Why a book? For that, we have to turn to the last things Stanford left us with. This isn't some dark Bible or cursed gateway. It's a pathetic gasp at a has-been who fears being forgotten. Bill isn't a god, he's a needy theater kid in search of a stage. He's making it all up as he goes along. All he really wants is for us to keep reading, because as long as we're reading, we're giving him lifeblood. Not power, attention. You can't kill an idea, but you can think of a better one. He wants a stage. He wants attention. It's the exact reason why he tried to get into animation before. It's most likely the same reason for why the countdown is still going. Clues that mean nothing. A website that's still stalling. Attention. And we're falling for the bait. He's just a preteen theater kid looking for attention, but that doesn't mean his story is over. That doesn't mean any of the story is over. We know why he does what he does, and we seem to be able to suggest that Gravity Falls the show is Bill's doing, but it still clearly happened. Those characters are real, and this story is continuing. But that, my friends, we will have to leave for another day. If you want to stay up to date with this series as it progresses, make sure to ring that bell after subscribing to get notified when I upload. Make sure to wishlist Overton to stay up to date with everything happening there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe. Comment down below if you have any information that could either prove or disprove this theory. Once again, this is still just a theory, so it can always be disproven later when we learn more information. If you want to talk to my team and I directly, make sure to join our Discord and check out our subreddit. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.